10,000 followers. I'm just like, what? I can't actually get my head around the fact that there's that many people that have given me their time and have subscribed to my channel. So I just wanted to say thank you from the bottom of my heart. I'm so grateful for all of you following me, watching my videos, sending me supportive comments, and just generally coming along for this ride with me. I started this channel because I love YouTube. I remember being at medical school and thinking like, I wish that there were some medical YouTubers I could follow that I identified with. During medical school, I just thought, you know what, why don't I be that person for someone else? So today I wanted to do a get to know me video. If you are completely new to my channel, then hi, thank you for joining today. I'm Sarah. I'm a doctor in the UK. I work in the emergency department. I make videos about my life as a doctor and also what I get up to in my free time. And for those of you who are long-time watchers, then you will hopefully learn something new about me. In fact, you definitely will learn something new about me because a lot of this stuff I haven't mentioned on my channel before, so a lot of it's going to be brand spanking new. First question, do you feel nervous in front of consultants? Okay, so I used to feel nervous in front of consultants sometimes. Sometimes doctors can be a bit like Dr. Cox from Scrubs and be a little bit intimidating.
But trust me, that hardly makes you an expert.
That stereotype definitely does come from somewhere. But I think as I'm getting more not advanced, what's the word? As I'm progressing in my career, I feel myself getting less nervous. I try to remember that we are all a valuable member of the team, whether you are a porter transporting a patient from one ward to another, or whether you are senior management or a consultant. We all have a valuable role to play within the hospital, and I try to remember to just think about the patient first, and that we're all here for one goal, to get that patient well, to keep them safe and to have a good outcome for them. And when you put the patient at the centre of your focus, it takes away that personal feeling of lack of confidence or low self-esteem or worrying about things, because at the end of the day we're all working towards the same goal, rather than it being like, I need to impress my consultant or I need to make sure that I do well so they're proud of me. It's not about that. It's about making sure patients are well. And the other thing that has kind of helped me overcome this feeling is just remembering they are people too. If we all have good relationships with each other, it makes everyone's day a bit better. So whenever I get to work, and I mean, the consultants I work with are really approachable and really lovely. So I'm really lucky in that sense. But I always make sure that I ask how they are, how their week's going, before I launch into asking for their advice or their help with something. Kind of makes us remember that yes, we're all here to do a job, but at the end of the day, we're all people and we have lives as well. Next question, what made you want to do medicine? Any personal stories? Okay, so I was really lucky with my education. I went to a grammar school. In that school, it was very much a case of like classic grammar school. If you are good at science, you probably are going to go to university and study medicine, or go and do a pure science degree and go on and do a PhD or something like that. It wasn't actually in my realm of knowledge that really you could go to college and do vocational courses or go to university and become a nurse. I mean, obviously I knew that people did these things, but it wasn't ever something that we were pushed to do at school and or at home. I come from quite an academic family. My mum and stepdad are teachers. I happened to really enjoy biology and chemistry, and so naturally I was sort of gently pushed towards medicine. And actually I do think it really suits my personality. I love connecting with people. I'm really interested in people themselves, and I'm fascinated about how the human body works. Yeah, I don't have any personal stories about why I wanted to become a doctor, but I have got a video about how I got into medical school, which I will link up above. don't remember which side it's on, and I will also put the link down in the description box below, so you can check that out if you want to have a look. Next question, how did you and Vince meet? So Vince is my boyfriend. We've been together for 5.5 years, and have a look at some of my vlogs if you want to see what we get up to, especially videos like what I get up to on a day off. Those are the sort of videos he features in if you want to meet Vince. So I met Vince while I was in medical school, online dating. I had dated a couple of medics, and I kind of realised that although medics are great people in general, I love having lots of friends who are medics. I found that dating medics is just, it's too intense because all you think about and all you talk about is medical stuff. And so I actively made the decision, I don't want to date a doctor, I don't want to date someone medical. And so I did online dating to try and meet people that were non-medical. And I ended up meeting Vince. He's an engineer, and we really hit it off. We've got really compatible personalities, and we just have a great time together. Okay, next question. Do you have dreams/nightmares about work situations? Oh my goodness, yes. I think this is kind of a universal thing amongst everyone, isn't it? Like, you have that dream that you turn up to work naked, or you're doing something drastically wrong at work. Yeah, everyone has that every now and then. It's those kind of like stress dreams. I say in my first year of being a doctor, I probably had those dreams more. I was more stressed at that time. I wasn't sleeping as well because I was in like doctor's accommodation, and the bed was horrifically uncomfortable, and I was quite stressed about work. So yeah, I used to have a lot of stress dreams. I can't remember the last time I had one though, so I'd say they're becoming less frequent, which is probably a good thing. Next question, where did you grow up? I grew up in Essex. Which city do you live in? I live just outside Nottingham. What would you have done if you didn't get into medical school? If you've watched my How I Got Into Medical School video, then you will have seen me talk about the story of I wasn't sure I was going to get in, and I had some travelling planned before I found out whether I got into medical school. I was going off to Australia. Found out I got into medical school. Instead of going travelling long term to Australia, my trip was 6 weeks instead of being like a year. So I think if I hadn't got into medical school, I probably would have stayed in Australia for as long as I possibly could, working and, you know, doing the whole working on farms thing and travelling around, because I just loved it over there. Then I probably would have reapplied to get into medical school, and if I still hadn't have got in, I probably would have gone down the teacher route, because that was another thing that I was seriously considering. I did medicine as a graduate, I did biomedical science degree before, so probably right now would be a biology teacher or a primary school teacher, I don't know. But then again, having said that, I'm not entirely sure that's where my life would have taken me, because I've been surprised in the last few years at where things have gone. I wouldn't have predicted that I'd have a YouTube channel. I also started an online shop. I've got an Etsy shop. I've had a couple of different Etsy shops, running businesses online. So maybe I would be doing something creative, and or maybe like running an online business. I don't know. I'm not sure where my life would be, but I am sure it would be interesting. Next question, how old are you? I am 29. How tall are you? I'm 5'7", and for my European watches, that is 170 centimetres. Okay, what do you do when you are really depressed? There's been a couple of times in my life where I've felt extremely down, and down to a degree that it's lasted for sort of weeks on end. I've never gone to the doctors and ever been diagnosed with depression, but I think we all have times in our life where our mental health kind of goes off balance. And if you feel that you're struggling with that, then definitely seek some help from your GP. But in general, when I'm feeling really sad, I am a crier. I have a good cry. I get all my emotions out that way, and it really does help me. I find it's really cathartic. I'm also someone who processes my emotions by talking them through or writing them down. When I do a purposeful task that's not too taxing, I can actually process my thoughts quite well. So for example, going on a long, gentle run really helps me. I'm doing something, but I'm not having to think too much. It allows me to actually go into that alpha wave state in my brain and just think things through, or taking a long shower, going for a walk in the fresh air. Another thing that I love to do when I am feeling a bit down is cleaning and organising. It really de-stresses me. I'm a bit like Monica from Friends in that sense. I love to have a good clean and organised session. I put a time limit on how long I'm going to feel really, really sad for and let everything come out. And then after that, I pick myself up, I dust myself off, make myself look and feel better. I do something proactive to cheer myself up, watching a funny film, going to see some friends. Really do make an effort to stop feeling rubbish. Next question. Do you and Vince want kids? Okay, very deep question. I've always thought that I really want kids. I've got 2 younger brothers and I used to help my mum looking after them a lot. I also used to babysit for a family with 4 children, which I absolutely adored. I love that family so much and I loved babysitting for them. So shout out to the Norrises. If any of you are watching, let me know in the comments down below if you are watching. That would make my day. As I got older, I always felt like, yes, I want to have children. I can't wait till the day I have my own babies. But in the last couple of years, I've been so focused on everything business related, everything work related. And Vince and I have such a nice life together, and we've been doing lots of travelling and just in really, really loving each other's company and seeing our friends lots, that we've kind of been running the scenario of what would our life look like if we decided not to have children. And we haven't really come up with an answer yet. It's nice to be able to run the scenario of what would our lives look like if we didn't. And to be honest, I think we both would be happy either way. So it's not something that we are sort of actively trying for, and we're not sort of putting any pressure on it. And I just feel so lucky that we live in an age and in a society where we have that option. I'm aware that it is a real privilege. Did you apply to medicine as a graduate or as a school leaver? And how did you handle interview pressure? Okay, so I entered medicine as a graduate entry medic, and again, watch that video down in the comments below, not comments, in the description box below. Interview pressure. Okay, so interviewers expect you to be nervous, and I was not an exception to that. I was definitely nervous, and I think that when I am nervous, it shows. I'm not one of those people who can hide it very well. And I think I was really lucky because so in my gap year, I took a gap year after year 13 before I went to my first university course. And in my gap year, I worked in a college, in a vocational college, which was absolutely fantastic. It started as a temp job and then they extended it so that I could work there the whole year. And then they kept having me back in the summers of my university, and it was amazing. I loved that job. And in that job, I really did get pushed to be more mature than I really felt. So they asked me to do interviews for prospective students. And it was quite strange because those students were my age and I was interviewing them to come to college. It wasn't like I had any choice or any sway as to whether they got the place at college. I was just asking them set interview questions that I was given. But I did sort of make an impression of what makes a good interviewee, what makes a less good interviewee, and how to put yourself forward well. And I found that the people who seemed nervous didn't seem like less good candidates than those who didn't seem nervous. The things that make people stand out well in interviews is that you turn up well presented. I think that's a given for any interview, and look like you care. Being enthusiastic and smiley and friendly to everyone you meet at the interview, and seeming like you've prepared. Those 3 things really make the difference for interviews, and I tried to keep that in mind when I did my GEM interview, and it worked. I got in. I will link another video down in the description box below of med school interview techniques and tips that I found useful, so have a look at that. Next question, tea or coffee? The ultimate question. Well, I'm British, so gotta love tea, but I'm also a doctor, so gotta love coffee. So I'm going to say both. And the next question was, how do you have your tea or coffee? Well, let me tell you, I've actually been trying to drink more green tea recently. So yeah, really enjoying that. But if I have a normal cup of tea or English breakfast tea, I will have it with a bit of milk and no sugar. Coffee wise, I love a really milky coffee or a latte, and I have just bought a little gizmo that I'm absolutely loving that foams up milk. So I'll link that in the description box below, because you can actually make yourself lattes at home and it is amazing. So definitely check that out if you're into your fancy drinks and you want to make them at home. Next question. What kind of medicine do you plan to specialise in? So, as you guys know, I'm working in the emergency department at the moment, and as you probably also have gathered from this video and from my other videos, I love variety in my life, and I love to have lots of different things going on at once. I'm definitely not someone who could just go to work 9 to 5, Monday to Friday, and then have the weekends off. I like doing one thing on a Monday, something different on a Tuesday, another thing on a Wednesday, Thursday off, working the weekend. I love having variety in my life. So at the moment I'm struggling to imagine myself just going down one specific training pathway and choosing that career. I'm working in the emergency department as a locum, and I'm going to try and do that for as long as I can, and if I do decide to do a training pathway, I imagine it will be in emergency medicine. I previously thought that I was a GP through and through, but when I did my emergency medicine job in F2, I loved it so much. It really swayed me and made me want to keep working there for as long as I possibly can. The other thing that I see myself doing, and that I haven't actually spoken about at all on this channel or on Instagram, is aesthetic medicine, which is cosmetic treatments. And the reason that I don't talk about that on here or on Instagram is because I know that a lot of you who follow me on here are young adults and teenagers, and I don't want to promote cosmetic treatments to you. That's not what this platform's for. I don't want to use it to sell those things, but that is an avenue of work that I am going down. I love beauty treatments, I always have. In fact, something that you guys didn't know about me is that when I was working in that college where I said that I was doing the interviews, they actually did a staff discount for different courses. And one of the courses was a beauty course, and I signed up to do that, and I did a level 3 course in Indian head massage. Also career-wise, I see myself hopefully growing my YouTube channel and growing my online business that I have with my sister. Next question, how many siblings do I have? I have 4 siblings. I have 3 brothers and 1 sister. Wow, this is becoming a long video. I hope you're still enjoying it, and give me a little comment if you're still with me, guys. I'm going to get snappier. Come on, Sarah, get snappier. So, next question, were you from a traditional medical applicant family? Past doctors, 11 A stars, etc.? Hell no. No, I wasn't. I don't think there's any, well, there's definitely not any doctors in my immediate family. I think on my granddad's, my mum's dad's brother, I think he was a doctor in Poland. My mum's family are Polish. Actually, I've got a bit of a rant about that. I won't name the name, and I won't say which hospital even it was or which department or anything like that, but a senior doctor at work once asked me if my parents were doctors, and then sort of laughed when I told him no, and made it seem like I didn't fit in if my parents weren't doctors. So if you're interested in hearing more about that, I'm happy to do a bit of a video on that topic, because it is something that needs to be talked about. Luckily, I think that kind of stereotype is going out of fashion in medicine, and we are moving into the 21st century in that sense, but I'm happy to talk about it more if you're interested. And in terms of my GCSEs, no, I didn't get 11 A stars. I got 4 A stars, 2 Bs and 6 As. And if you want to hear more about my GCSEs, A levels and those kind of things, I did do a Q&A video on it, and I'll link that in the description box as well. Tell us one thing you wouldn't know about me. I think that's meant to mean we wouldn't know about you, but okay, I'm going to answer it. I used to do Irish dancing when I was a child with my friend Caroline, and I was not good at Irish dancing, let me tell you. I loved it, it was great fun, but I was not a good Irish dancer. There was one competition we went to, one of the judges awarded me a medal for being the smiliest dancer, and I think that was one of those like pity medals, because I was pretty crap at dancing. Do you have any phobias or fears? Okay, usual fears are people dying that are close to me, obviously. Never want that happen. and don't want people near me to get ill. I worry about those things. But on a less deep level, a weird phobia that I have. Oh, it makes me like feel all weird even just thinking about it. Opening cardboard. Okay, this sounds really strange now I'm saying it. Opening cardboard packages. Yeah, I know that's so weird, isn't it? But I really hate it. I hate how your fingers feel against the cardboard and your nails scratch against it, and it makes your hands feel really dry, and then you get like paper cuts from the oh no, can't deal with opening cardboard. What do you do when a patient doesn't like you and doesn't agree with what you're saying? This does happen, unfortunately. You can't get on with everyone, and personalities unfortunately do clash. When people come into hospital or into doctor's surgeries, they aren't well, or a relative isn't well, or they're not in the best frame of mind, and so sometimes people act unreasonably. And also sometimes doctors are wrong, or we don't know everything. We're not infallible. When patients aren't very cooperative, I just try to remember that it's not personal. It's not against me personally. They are in a rubbish position at that time in their lives at that very moment. I also always try to remain professional, because I'm not acting as me. I'm acting as me as a doctor looking after that patient. The beauty of working as a junior doctor is that there are senior doctors, so I get my seniors to help me. And also a multidisciplinary team. The nurses are fantastic, especially at dealing with conflicts in the emergency department. What is something you are trying to improve on at the moment? Okay, anyone who knows me, I am really sorry, because you know that I have a really bad habit, and that is that I run late a lot. I think when I run late, it's not because I'm trying to be rude or I don't value your time. I run late because I'm too optimistic with how much I can get done in a short space of time. Vince will tell you this is definitely true. I'll look at the clock and see, oh, I've got another 10 minutes. I'll think, great, I've got 10 minutes. That means I can put a wash load on, I can quickly run a hoover around the house and still have time to do my makeup. And obviously it's unrealistic. I need to just learn to be early. And I'm really trying to make an effort with that at the moment, and it's something I'm really working on, because I realise that it's rude to be late, and people's time's precious and they don't want to be waiting for me. I'm trying really hard to do that at the moment. I'm always very strict with myself about turning up to work on time, but I did turn up late to work a couple of weeks ago. I was 5 minutes late, and I know that doesn't seem like a lot, but you've got busy doctors, they don't want to be waiting for you to turn up for your shift. And I got a bit of a telling off from the consultant, and it was a real wake-up call that yes, okay, that day was really unfortunate. I had left home really early, and I'd got stuck in traffic, and it was just an unfortunate running late. But it just made me think, I'm an adult, I need to be a bit more responsible, try to get into work early and leave a bit of buffer time at the start of a shift, or be the person that's early and waiting rather than always scrambling around and running late, because it just adds extra stress to my life when I'm running late all the time. And I'm also trying to take a bit of a scientific approach to it. So I was thinking to myself the other day, my makeup routine that I have just for like everyday makeup probably takes 5 minutes. But then I decided to put a timer on, or calculate how long it really does take, and it takes 9 minutes. And I was thinking to myself, I wonder how many other things take a few more minutes than I really thought they took, like my breakfast and other bits in my usual daily routine. I am going to time all of those things and work out how long it really does take me to get ready, and then add a bit of buffer time, and then I won't be late ever. Right, pet peeves. Any pet peeves? People being rude unnecessarily and just not having respect or manners for each other. Just no need. And people who don't clear up after their dogs. There's someone on our road that is not clearing up after their dog, and it's driving me nuts. Do you have any tattoos? Yes, I do have a tattoo. You might be surprised to hear. I've got a little feather on my ankle, and it's like I think loads of people had this at the time. It was like all over Pinterest. It's a feather with little birds coming out of the top of it. And I got this done when I went travelling in Australia. It was really sentimental to me because, I mean, the bird and the feather doesn't represent anything, but it happened to be at a time in my life where I just got into medicine. I was going travelling. It was something I'd saved up for a really long time. I felt really free, and it was this new era in my life. So I guess it was like a bird spreading its wings and becoming something new. And a final question, do you have any pets? No, we don't have any pets. Vince and I would love to get a dog, and I think we will set the ball in motion to do that when we get back from our trip. We have always had pets growing up: dogs, cats, goldfish, hamsters, all sorts of pets. I love animals, and my Etsy shop that I haven't got open at the moment, but I was running through medical school to help me earn some extra cash. I was painting people's pets, and I absolutely adored doing that because people would send me the cutest pictures of their pets and tell me stories about them in emails and messages when they sent them over. So yeah, I love animals and I can't wait to get some pets. So guys, that is the end of this video. I am going to be shocked and horrified if anyone is even still viewing at this point in the video. But surely you got something better to do with your life than sit here and watch me. Thank you guys, seriously, for watching and for being part of this channel. I love you guys so much. You really do make my day when you leave me lots of nice comments and chat to each other in the comments. It's great. Hit the thumbs up button if you've enjoyed it. Don't forget to subscribe and all the usual stuff. Today's shout out goes to AKS Angel. Thanks for your comment on my last video. Thanks for watching. I'll catch you next time. Bye.